I was going to say a bright spot of the evening, even though I know Tennessee State lost, but Meghan made it clear that ESPN was going to show the entire halftime show on ESPN Plus. And so you know what brought me great joy in the middle of all that pain and leading up to the USC pain I didn't even know was happening was the halftime show at the Southern Heritage Classic. And it was a great weekend in Memphis. Full circle back from Pac-12 to Memphis. It was nice to see.
Natural transition right there.
Exactly, just how we do it here. But it was great to see the Southern Heritage Classic at the Liberty Bowl this weekend. Jackson State gets the win, but all eyes were on this game because of the matchup between Deion Sanders and Eddie George on the sidelines as coaches. The hype was real. And I thought in terms of just how it looked and how Memphis looked, you couldn't have asked for more in this situation.
No question about it, man. And CJ was right in the middle of all of that. And shout out to him for braving the elements and getting out there and getting from field level all the way up to the top. He might even have controlled one of the drones over the place, right? I mean, he was in control of everything. But, just the atmosphere lived up to it. 46,000 plus being there was remarkable. The game was intriguing because of Jackson State and with Shedeur Sanders had a breakout record-setting type performance, and it was everything. And again, like when Meghan broke the news that ESPN had multiple feeds that were going to show the entire halftime, after coming off last week when she was dancing with the Aristocrata bands during their performance last week, I mean, it was like, look, see, man, weren't you in one of these like 10 years ago? Which one were you? Where were you at? What did you play? Or were you one of the dancers?
I was on the field as like the hype crew. I was always on the field. When I was in college, I was on the field as a hype crew, just standing there with my phone, getting all the pictures like, you better go, girl. But it was I had to watch it from home, and it was a great overall experience. Like when you get to the performance of the actual game, what happened on the field, it was tough for my TSU Tigers. Everything, Mike, that you and I previewed in our Southern Heritage Classic preview, everything came into fruition of the costly mistakes and trying to figure out what you're going to do at quarterback. Is it going to sustain you to play multiple quarterbacks with Hickbottom and, Devion Bryant? And both of them had moments where you thought to yourself, okay, this could maybe work, but then you had these costly turnovers or situations. Talk about game management plan. And I know for Eddie George, this is his first year, and I'm not putting all the pressure on, because for Deion, this is his second. So he's gotten a chance to he's gotten a chance to recruit all these great guys. And his son had an amazing performance on Saturday night. And they just had it better. I told you that it was going to come down to the offense. Who was going to learn from week one and get better into week two? Jackson State did that. They had a better game plan. They fixed some of those mistakes that they made in week one, and they're the better team. But it was hard to watch TSU go down like that, because you thought to yourself, like, okay, did we get anything right? Like maybe like one step closer.
It's hard, right? You got a new coach who's never coached before in the middle of a pandemic, whose team didn't play in the spring. Right, that's a lot working against your college football program in and of itself. It's going to take time, like Meghan is saying, for Tennessee State to get everything kind of sorted out. There's more than just adversity on the field for this program when you take a look at everything going on around them. Shedeur Jackson, to Meghan's point, 362 yards, passing yards, most by a JSU quarterback in any classic, third most by a JSU quarterback. Overall, his 30 completions was the most in Southern Heritage Classic history. So they've got it rolling down there in JSU. Yeah. If you're playing a team who's already had a full season and you hadn't played at all, right? You had to take a season off. Things like this are going to happen.
And not only that, Eddie George didn't even get hired until April, right? And that's after the spring practice period. So he didn't even have a spring practice to get things together.
No, I think it was right before, because TSU played in the spring,
right?
And so it was like right before their very last game of their spring season that he got hired.
Okay, right. So he didn't even have a chance to assess anything until he got in there, and it clearly looked like one program is really building from ground zero, right?
Yeah.
And Sanders looks like he's gotten to the point where he had a year under his belt. He has his recruits in. He told the SWAC, hey, y'all take y'all licks on us now in the spring, because when we come back in the fall, we're going to be a problem. And it looks like Jackson State will be a problem for the SWAC.
Let's whoa, wait. They beat Tennessee State and FAMU by 1. It was 7-6.
But FAMU has one of the best defenses in the SWAC now, and they got better from week 1 to week 2. Shedeur is only he's a true freshman, yo. they got a running game, and then they have probably the most explosive defense. Like every time that Tiffany and Jay and you know, again, it's always great when Tiffany and Jay can come this way. The ESPN broadcast crew, Meghan knows them personally. I've been able to work with Tiffany for a long time, and you know, it's good that they recognize some of these things. But every time they were calling out Jackson State's defensive players, it was, oh, the transfer from Purdue, the transfer from
Auburn.
Texas A&M, Auburn, right? I mean, it was like everyone was coming in from a Power 5 program. And when you put that much talent out there, I'm telling you, man, listen, you know I'm grambling through and through. I'm grambling through and through, right? We whipped up on Tennessee State, too. So, I mean, you know, we didn't look that good doing it. But I'm just saying, it's Jackson State will be a problem because when you combine their potential and talent with Deion's ability to coach them up and make them believe they can run through brick walls, I'm a believer. They play Louisiana Monroe this week. There's a chance they can go down there and look pretty good against a team playing a division up. And then they play Delta State after that. And then, man, who knows? It's gonna be interesting. I'm in for the ride now, man. I hope you are too. We got some business to take care of each Thursday, right?
That's right.
I'm not, listen, you're on that train by yourself. We do have HBCU Huddle Podcast. Check it out, grindcitymedia.com. It's in the podcast.
Wait,
tab.
you're not on the train?
No, I'm not on the JSU train. No, not after beating FAM and Tennessee State. I don't think that gets you enough clout for me. Let's see how you do against some of the better programs. I don't think they play A&M this year, but let's see, or unless they get to a championship game, let's see how they handle that. But you got Pine Bluff, you got to beat Alcorn State as well. Let's see how you do with some of these better programs.
Man. Alcorn's struggling.
They lost to North Carolina Central, and we don't know what North Carolina Central is just yet. So let's see how you do. North Carolina Central may very well contend for a MEAC title. So let's see how you do against some of the better teams in your division and in your conference as a whole.
Yeah.
But 2 wins is 2 wins. You got to give them credit for it.
Right. I don't think like your clout, we're not giving them clout, but you're excited. Like you're excited for an HBCU program, and you're excited for when you see national networks put them on, your TVs. And I know ESPN, they had it live on ESPN3 and they played it delayed on ESPNU. We're going to hopefully correct some of these things. And I was super excited that yes, they put the whole entire halftime performance on, ESPN3 or on the app. However, now the next step, and I'm all for improvements. The next step is making sure you have both camera angles, because if you do know how it works out, TSU faces their side of things. They didn't have a camera or mic that way. So TSU, if you were watching on the app, it didn't sound that great. When Jackson State faced their side, that's where the camera angle was. It sounded better. So now you just got to fix those little small mistakes. Play it live next time. Why are we playing it on? Why are we playing delay when we know that there is a huge hype and conversation about putting HBCU football on a national level so more people can watch it? So when you see Deion Sanders doing what he's doing, and Eddie George as well, they're putting more HBCUs on the map, having more people talk about it because of the clout that they do bring. And then I loved what Jay and Tiffany brought to our attention for TSU's coaching staff.
Yes.
When we talk about, TSU is building from the ground up, one thing Eddie George has done is every single coach has NFL experience, whether it's coaching or being a player or both, like Eddie George. When you have, I had no idea, Brandon Fisher, our defensive coordinator, that's Jeff Fisher's son. He also coached for the Titans. When you go up and down the list of having player and coaches, you think to yourself, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I was mad at how he performed and how he played on Saturday, but I'm excited. I can see the future of what we could be. Deion Sanders did the very exact same thing in his second year. I don't expect Eddie to have the same success that Deion has, but I do think in the next 3 or 4 years, he's going to get the same guys transferring from Auburn, from Alabama to South Carolina, deciding to go, you know what, I'm going to go to TSU.
Yeah, and not only that, they're going to get 3 and 4 stars to come right from high school too. And that's what happens when you have the program sort of running. Yeah. Deion is at the point now where he can recruit 3-star, 4-star guys to say, you know what, I'd rather not go to, let's just say, Arkansas State or FIU or somewhere like that, like Shadur did, and say, okay, I'm going to go to Jackson State because I'm going to be on TV more. I'm going to be playing in front of 40,000 people every single week. That team is going to be playing. I mean, Jackson State led FCS in attendance for 20 straight years anyway, right? So it's the pieces of the programs are there. I just hope Eddie George is going to be patient, right? If you told me right now what I predict that Deion is going to be at Jackson State in 4 years, I probably would say no, just because he's going to be there as long as his sons are in position to keep improving. But beyond that, is this the end game for him? Probably not. But it doesn't have to be. He's going to already have elevated that program for whoever takes over after that. And Eddie George's staff was just phenomenal. 7 different coaches, like you said, Meghan, has either been players or coaches in the NFL. So if you're a player, a high school recruit or a transfer, and you come to Tennessee State, you're going to be coached by guys who could tell you exactly what it takes to get you to the league, right? So it's one of those things where it's going to be exciting to see this develop. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, ultimately, we're going to talk about it all. Thanks for joining us. Have a great start to your week. We'll see you then.
This has been Rise and Grind with Jessica and Meghan. Tune in live daily at 8 a.m. or on demand by heading to grindcitymedia.com or Grind City Media on YouTube.